You work hard, you chase the promotion, the paycheck, the dream house with the perfect lawn. Society tells you this is the path to wealth, a ladder where each rung is made of more money, more status, more things. We believe that accumulating these external symbols will finally buy us that elusive feeling of security and happiness. This is the promise we are all sold, the one game everyone seems to be playing. But what if the game itself is rigged against your peace of mind? We see this chase everywhere. It's the constant hum of ambition that powers our world. We are told that our value is measured by our bank account and our success is displayed in the things we own. This idea is so deeply ingrained that we rarely stop to question it. It feels like a fundamental law of nature, as obvious as gravity. To have more is to be more. To earn more is to be worth more. This is the simple, powerful, and deeply misleading equation of modern life. Consider a man we'll call Alex. He is a master of this game. He has the corner office with the sprawling city view, the expensive watch that gleams on his wrist, and the respect of his peers. From the outside, he is the very picture of success. He has achieved everything he was told would make him happy, everything he thought he ever wanted. He has won the race, or so it seems. He smiles, but the smile doesn't quite reach his eyes. His world is built on acquisition. Each new object, each new deal, is a brick in the fortress of his identity. He buys a state-of-the-art sports car, its red paint shining under the showroom lights. It's a symbol of power, speed, and arrival. This, he believes, is a tangible piece of happiness. It's proof that his hard work has paid off. This machine of metal and glass is supposed to fill a void, to silence the quiet whisper of doubt that sometimes echoes in the back of his mind. People applaud his success. At social gatherings, he is the center of attention. They listen to his stories, admire his accomplishments, and see him as a model to emulate. This external validation is addictive. It's a warm, comforting blanket that smothers any internal unease. As long as the world sees him as wealthy and successful, he can believe it himself. Their envy becomes a strange kind of fuel, pushing him to keep climbing, keep acquiring, keep performing the role he has chosen. This is the lie we live by, that our inner state is dependent on our outer circumstances. We treat happiness as a destination we can arrive at if we just gather enough tickets, enough money, enough praise, enough possessions. We tell ourselves, I will be at peace when I get that raise, or I will be content when I buy that house. We postpone our well-being, making it a reward for external achievements rather than a present state of being. The Roman philosopher Seneca saw this trap over 2,000 years ago. He watched as the powerful and affluent citizens of Rome chased endless wealth, only to find themselves enslaved by it. They were consumed by the anxiety of gaining more, and terrified by the prospect of losing what they had. Seneca understood a profound truth. The hunger for more is a bottomless pit. If a man is not content with what he has, he will never be content with what he wants. And so, for Alex, the victory feels hollow. The applause fades, the party ends, and he is left alone in his large, silent house. The things he has collected do not speak. The numbers in his bank account do not offer comfort. A strange and persistent emptiness begins to creep in at the edges of his carefully constructed world. The fortress he built to protect himself now feels more like a luxurious prison, each expensive object another bar on the window. He lies awake at night, the city lights painting sterile patterns on his ceiling. The thrill of the latest acquisition has already faded, replaced by a familiar, low-grade anxiety. What's next? What new goal must he conquer to feel that fleeting rush again? He is a dragon sleeping on a pile of gold, unable to rest, forever guarding a treasure that brings him no real joy. The wealth he has gathered provides no peace, only a new set of worries. The lie begins to show its true colors. The promise of freedom through wealth was an illusion. In reality, every possession has become a chain, every financial obligation a weight. He is not the master of his fortune, he is its servant. He must constantly work to maintain his lifestyle, to protect his assets, to keep up appearances. The more he has, the more he has to lose, and the fear of that loss becomes his constant, unwelcome companion. The first real crack in his worldview appears. He is walking on a treadmill, a state-of-the-art machine, in his private gym. He is running faster and faster, sweat pouring down his face, but the scenery never changes. he is going nowhere. In a flash of insight, he sees the machine not as a tool for health, but as a perfect metaphor for his entire life. An endless, exhausting pursuit with no real destination. This feeling begins to follow him. At a board meeting, as his colleagues discuss profit margins and market expansion, the words sound like meaningless noise. He looks at their faces, all driven and serious, and for the first time, he sees not ambition, but a kind of shared panic. They are all on the same golden treadmill, running from a fear they dare not name. The illusion of importance shatters, leaving only the stark reality of the chase. He starts to question the very definition of wealth. If having all this doesn't bring peace, what is it actually for? The question is a dangerous one. It pulls at the very foundation of his identity. If he is not his job, his car, or his bank account, then who is he? The uncertainty is terrifying, far more so than a stock market crash. He is standing at the edge of a cliff, looking down into an abyss of the unknown. Seneca would say this is the beginning of wisdom. It is the moment we stop and ask, why am I running? He argued that we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. We are tormented not by our circumstances, but by our judgment of them. Alex's anxiety isn't caused by his wealth. It's caused by his belief that his well-being depends on it. He is a prisoner of his own perspective, locked in a cell whose door has been open all along. The things he owns begin to feel alien. His luxury watch feels like a heavy manacle on his wrist. He takes it off and stares at it. It's just metal and glass. It tells the time, but it says nothing about the quality of that time. It cannot measure joy, peace, or contentment. For the first time, he sees it not as a status symbol, but as a beautifully crafted, utterly empty object. Its power over him was a story he told himself. He looks at his reflection in a shop window and sees a stranger wearing a mask. The mask is handsome, successful, and confident, but underneath, he feels the faint contours of his real face, a face that is tired, confused, and longing for something more. He has spent so long wearing this mask that he almost forgot it was there. Now the urge to tear it off is becoming overwhelming, even if he fears what lies beneath. Seneca wrote that it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. This idea begins to resonate with Alex. His poverty isn't in his bank account. It's in his endless desires. He is poor because he always wants more. Each desire is a source of potential frustration and anxiety. He realizes he has been trying to fill an ocean of wanting with a thimble of having. It's a task doomed to fail from the start. This unraveling is painful. His friends and family don't understand his growing detachment. They see him stepping back from the race and mistake it for failure or depression. What's wrong? They ask. You have everything. Their confusion only deepens his sense of isolation. To them, he is throwing away the prize. To him, he is trying to escape the trap. He is beginning to speak a different language, one they cannot comprehend. He starts seeking solitude, not out of sadness, but out of a need for clarity. He walks in a park, sits by a river, and simply observes the world without wanting anything from it. He watches a tree stand firm in the wind, its wealth contained entirely within itself. It does not need praise or possessions. It simply is. In these quiet moments, away from the noise of ambition, a different kind of richness begins to make itself known. The old world loses its color. The glittering parties seem loud and shallow. The pursuit of the next big deal feels like a meaningless charade. The things that once motivated him now seem absurd. He is like a traveler who has discovered his map was showing the wrong destination all along. The journey has been grueling, and now he must find the courage to discard the map and trust his own internal compass for the first time. He is caught between two worlds. One is the familiar world of external validation, a place he knows how to navigate but which now feels empty. The other is a new, internal world, one that promises peace but demands that he let go of everything he thought defined him. The tension is immense. To stay is to suffocate slowly. To leap is to risk everything for a truth he only dimly perceives. His expensive house, once a symbol of his success, now feels like an echo chamber. The high ceilings and sparse furniture amplify his solitude. Each room is a monument to a life he no longer wants to live. It is a museum of a past self. He walks through the silent halls, a ghost in his own home, realizing that a house is not a home, and possessions are not companions. The fear of losing it all, which used to be his primary motivator, begins to change. What if losing it all wasn't the end, but the beginning? What if being stripped of his possessions, his status, and his reputation would actually set him free? The thought is both terrifying and exhilarating. He is beginning to see that his greatest fear might actually be his deepest desire, the desire for liberation from the burden of having. He remembers his childhood, when happiness was a simple thing. It was found in a game with friends, in exploring the woods behind his house, in the taste of a fresh apple. It had nothing to do with money or status. Where did that person go? He realizes that the child he was understood a truth that the man he became had forgotten. The path forward might require him to go backward, to reclaim a piece of himself he lost along the way. Seneca taught that we should practice poverty. Not to live in squalor, but to periodically live with less to rob misfortune of its power. To sleep on the floor, to eat simple food, to wear plain clothes. This practice teaches the mind a crucial lesson. I can be okay with less. I can survive this. It breaks the psychological dependence on comfort and luxury, building an inner resilience that no market crash can ever touch. Alex tries a version of this. He spends a weekend with only the bare essentials. No phone, no fancy food, no distractions. At first, it's unbearable. The silence is deafening. The urge to consume, to check, to do something is overwhelming. But slowly, as the hours pass, the noise in his head begins to quiet down. A space opens up. A simple, clear, quiet space he hasn't experienced in years. He looks at his own hands. They are not the hands of a CEO or a wealthy investor. They are just hands. They can build, they can hold, they can comfort. For too long, he has only used them to sign checks and grip a steering wheel. He has forgotten their fundamental purpose. This simple observation is a revelation. He is more than his role. He is a human being, a creature of bone and blood, not just an economic unit. The anxiety that was a constant hum in his chest begins to recede. It is replaced by a solid sense of presence. He is no longer worrying about the future or regretting the past. He is simply here now, breathing, observing, being. He realizes that this feeling, this simple, unadorned presence, is what he was chasing all along, was just looking for it, in all the wrong places. The doubt is no longer a whisper, it's a roar. The whole edifice of his life, built on the foundation of more is better, is shaking. He can no longer pretend to believe in it. He can no longer find satisfaction in the hollow victories. The discomfort of this realization is immense, but underneath it there is a sense of profound relief. The truth, however unsettling, is beginning to set him free. He understands now that he has been a slave to his own desires. Like a boat without a rudder, he has been tossed about by every whim, every new craving, every societal expectation. He was never in control. The one who wants nothing from fortune is the one fortune cannot control. The one who needs nothing is the one who truly has everything that matters. This is the seed of the great revelation to come. And here is the core revelation, the truth Seneca championed. True wealth has nothing to do with money. True wealth is the fortress of the mind. It is a state of inner self-sufficiency, an unshakable peace that comes from mastering your own desires. It is the freedom from the frantic need for more. You are truly wealthy not when your vault is full, but when your mind is calm. Imagine your desires are holes in a jar. Society tells you to pour more and more water, money, fame, possessions into this jar. But because the holes are always there, the jar never fills. You are locked in an endless cycle of earning and spending, always feeling empty. The Stoic, the truly wealthy person, doesn't try to find more water. They focus on patching the holes. They work on wanting less. The richest person is not the one with the most, but the one who needs the least. This is the ultimate paradigm shift. It reframes the entire pursuit of life. The goal is not to add, but to subtract. To subtract dependencies, to subtract needless wants, to subtract the opinions of others from your own self-worth. In this subtraction, you find the freedom that addition could never provide. You become light, you become free. This is the power of the inner citadel. Seneca urged us to build a mental fortress to which we can retreat at any time. External events, a financial crisis, a betrayal, a pandemic, are like a storm raging outside the castle walls. They can be violent and terrifying, but they cannot touch you inside your citadel. Your peace is not dependent on the weather. It is dependent on the strength of your walls, which are built from reason and self-control. Alex finally understands. He turns his back on the glittering, chaotic city that once represented all his dreams. He is not running away from it in fear. He is walking away from it in freedom. He has realized that the treasure he was seeking was never in those glass towers. The frantic energy of the city, its endless promises and demands, now seems like a distraction from the real work, the work of building his own soul. He finds a small, simple book. Its pages are not filled with stock tips or business strategies, but with timeless wisdom. Reading it feels like having a conversation with a wise old friend. The words are anchors in the storm of his confusion. They don't offer easy answers, but they provide the tools to find his own. This book is worth more to him now than his entire stock portfolio because it enriches his mind, not just his wallet. He breaks the golden chains. In a symbolic act, he takes off the last vestiges of his old life. The designer watch, the cufflinks, the symbols of a status he no longer craves. Each object he discards feels like a weight being lifted from his shoulders. It is an act of defiance against the culture of consumption. It is a declaration of independence. He is choosing to be defined by his character, not his possessions. Seneca says, "He who is brave is free." This new path requires immense courage. It's the courage to be different, to be misunderstood, to walk a lonelier road. It's the courage to face your own inner demons instead of distracting yourself with external pursuits. But this courage builds a strength that money can never buy. It is the strength of a person who knows they can endure hardship, who is not afraid of loss, because their true wealth is internal. True wealth is time. Not the time you spend earning a living, but the time you spend truly living. It is the unstructured hours where you can think, read, walk, and be with people you love. The person who works constantly to afford a luxurious life has no time to enjoy it. They have traded their life, their most precious, non-renewable resource, for things. The truly wealthy person guards their time jealously, for they know it is the currency of life itself. He looks at himself in a simple pool of clear water. The face that looks back is no longer a mask. It's the face of a man who is becoming whole. The lines on his face tell a story not of stress and anxiety, but of thought and experience. He is not smiling a hollow social smile. He has a look of quiet, solid contentment. He is finally meeting himself for the first time, and he is not afraid of what he sees. This inner wealth is anti-fragile. Financial wealth is fragile. It can be lost in a market crash. Social status is fragile. It can be lost with a single rumor. Possessions are fragile. They can be broken or stolen. But the fortress of the mind, once built, is resilient. Hardships don't weaken it. They temper it, making it stronger. Every challenge you overcome adds another stone to its walls. The person who has mastered their mind is free in a way a billionaire can never be. They can find joy in a simple meal, a walk in the park, a good conversation. They are not dependent on external stimuli for happiness. Their pleasure comes from within, from a well-ordered mind. This makes them the master of their own experience. They are not a puppet of fortune, but the quiet, unshakable master of their own soul. He learns to distinguish between what he can control and what he cannot. He cannot control the economy, the weather, or what other people think of him. He can control his thoughts, his judgments, and his actions. By focusing all his energy on this inner circle of control, he stops wasting his life in futile anxiety about things beyond his power. This simple distinction is the key that unlocks the door to tranquility. This journey is not about rejecting the world or living as a hermit. It's about engaging with the world from a different position of power. It's about being in the world but not of it. You can still have a career, a family, and possessions. The difference is, they no longer own you. You are no longer attached to them for your sense of self-worth. You are free to enjoy them when you have them, and free from despair if you lose them. The ultimate treasure, Seneca believed, is a life lived in accordance with nature, our own rational nature. It means living a life of virtue, reason, and integrity. This is a wealth that grows with every good deed, every rational thought, every act of courage. Unlike money, which can be depleted, this inner wealth only compounds over time, making you richer in character with each passing day. The man Alex now finds wealth in connection, not the shallow networking of his past, but deep, authentic conversation with a single friend. They are not talking about deals or acquisitions, but about life, fear, and meaning. In this genuine exchange, there is a richness that no business transaction could ever provide. This is the wealth of shared humanity, a treasure that can only be found in vulnerability and trust. He discovers the immense value of gratitude. Instead of focusing on what he lacks, he now consciously focuses on what he has. Not material things, but the ability to breathe, to walk, to think, to see a sunset. By shifting his focus from scarcity to abundance, his entire experience of reality changes. He realizes he was already living in a world full of riches. He was just blind to them, because he was looking for a different, counterfeit kind of treasure. His fear of the future dissolves. Because his happiness is no longer tied to external outcomes, the future loses its threat. Whatever happens, he knows he has the inner resources to deal with it. This doesn't mean he believes only good things will happen. It means he believes he can be good, no matter what happens. This is the ultimate security, a peace that is not contingent on circumstance. True wealth, then, is a skill. It is the skill of wanting what you already have. It is the skill of finding joy in the simple. It is the skill of building an unconquerable mind. It is not something you earn or find or are given. It is something you must cultivate, practice, and build, day by day, choice by choice. It is the hardest and most rewarding work a human being can do. The ultimate freedom is not the freedom to buy anything you want. It is the freedom from wanting anything you don't need. It is the liberation from the endless cycle of desire and disappointment. This is the profound truth that Alex has discovered. His cage was made of, "I want." The key to unlocking it was a simple, powerful phrase, "I have enough." Now begins the path of transformation. This is not an easy path. It is a daily practice. It is choosing the difficult, meaningful life over the easy, empty one. We see two paths. One is a wide, crowded, downward-sloping highway, full of people laughing and consuming, heading toward a city choked with smog. It looks easy and fun. It is the path of conformity. The other path is narrow, rocky, and steep. It winds up a formidable mountain. A lone figure, our transformed Alex, walks this path. The climb is clearly difficult. The wind blows, and he sometimes stumbles. But with every step upwards, the air becomes clearer, and the view more expansive. This is the path of the individual, the path of self-mastery. It is hard, but it leads to the heights. Along the easy path, the distractions are endless. Screens flash, advertisements promise instant happiness, and the noise of the crowd drowns out any individual thought. It is a life of passive consumption, of being told what to want and who to be. It offers comfort, but it costs you your soul. It is a gentle, comfortable, lifelong slumber. On the difficult path, there is silence. There is space to think. The challenges are not distractions. They are lessons. Each rock that must be climbed over builds strength. Each gust of wind that must be resisted builds resilience. The climber is not a passive consumer. He is an active participant in his own creation. The hardship is not an obstacle to his journey. The hardship is the journey. The man discards the remnants of his old self. He throws his smartphone off a cliff, not because technology is evil, but because he is choosing to be present in his own life, not constantly distracted from it. He is choosing the richness of the real world over the curated perfection of the digital one. It is an act of reclaiming his own attention, his most valuable asset. He learns to find joy in effort. He builds a small shelter with his own hands. The work is hard, his muscles ache, but the satisfaction he feels when it is done is deep and real. It is a feeling he never got from closing a business deal. This is the joy of creating value with your own effort, of seeing the direct result of your labor. It is a pure and powerful form of wealth. Contrast this with the person on the easy road. They pay others to solve their problems, to build their homes, to cook their food. They have outsourced their own capabilities. They are comfortable, but they are also helpless. They are dependent on a system they do not understand and cannot control. Their comfort is fragile, their capabilities atrophied. The man on the mountain path encounters a storm. Rain lashes down, and lightning splits the sky. He does not run or hide. He finds a stable stance, pulls his simple cloak tighter, and endures it. He looks out into the storm not with fear, but with a kind of respect. He knows that the storm will pass, and that he will be stronger for having weathered it. This is the essence of a Stoic life. It is not about being emotionless. It is about not being controlled by your emotions. It is about feeling fear, but acting with courage. It is about feeling anger, but responding with reason. It is about understanding that you cannot choose what happens to you, but you can always choose how you respond. This power of choice is your ultimate freedom. The loneliness of this path is real. He has left the crowd behind, but in his solitude, he finds a deeper connection, a connection to himself, to nature, and to the fundamental truths of existence. He is alone, but not lonely. He has found that the one companion he needs for his journey is a well-ordered mind. The approval of the crowd has been replaced by self-respect, a far more stable foundation. He now measures wealth in different terms, not in dollars, but in moments of peace, not in assets, but in acts of kindness, not in followers, but in the strength of his own character. His new ledger is internal. By this new accounting, he is the wealthiest man he has ever known. He has traded the fragile riches of the world for the unbreakable wealth of the soul. As he nears the summit of his symbolic mountain, he looks back. He can see the wide, easy highway far below, shrouded in smog. He feels no contempt for the people on it, only a quiet compassion. He was one of them. He knows the fear that keeps them there. His journey was not about proving them wrong, but about saving himself. The struggle has carved him into a new shape. The softness of his old life has been replaced by a rugged resilience. He is weathered, not worn out. He is simpler but more profound. He has less, but he is more. The transformation is complete. He did not find a treasure at the top of the mountain. He became the treasure. This path of transformation is available to everyone. It doesn't require you to abandon your life and live on a mountain. It requires a shift in your mind. It is an inner journey. You can begin it right now, in this moment, by questioning what you truly value. You can start by wanting less and appreciating more. The path begins with a single, conscious choice. The struggle for inner wealth is the only one worth fighting. Every other victory is temporary. Every other treasure can be lost, but the peace and freedom that come from a disciplined mind are yours forever. It is a fortress that no army can conquer, a treasure that no thief can steal. This is the promise of philosophy, the inheritance left to us by thinkers like Seneca. And now, the journey comes back to you. Look at your own life. Look at the things you are chasing. Ask yourself the hard question, why? Are you running on a golden treadmill, getting more and more tired but going nowhere? Are you collecting things that own you more than you own them? The first step is to be honest with yourself, without judgment. You hold the key to your own prison. The cage of anxiety, of endless wanting, is locked from the inside. Society hands you 1,000 distractions to keep you from realizing this. It wants you to stay a hungry consumer. But you have the power to stop. You have the power to turn your attention inward and begin the work of building your own inner citadel. This is not a call to poverty, but a call to freedom. You can still strive and achieve, but do so from a place of inner wholeness, not from a place of desperate need. Build a career that expresses your values, not one that just pays for your desires. Enjoy the beautiful things in life, but do not depend on them for your happiness. Be the master of your world, not its slave. We have journeyed from the common lie that wealth is money to the profound truth that wealth is a peaceful mind. We saw a man trapped by his success unravel his own illusions and embrace a harder but more meaningful path. He traded the fleeting validation of the crowd for the permanent strength of his own character. His transformation shows us what is possible for each of us. The transformed man now stands on the summit. He has arrived. He looks out not at a city he can own, but at a vast, beautiful world he can appreciate. The sun is rising, painting the sky in colors that no money can buy. He is breathing the clean, crisp air. He has nothing, and yet he has everything. He is the living embodiment of true wealth. This peace is your birthright. It is the natural state of a mind that is not disturbed by false desires. We are born with it, but society teaches us to trade it for trinkets. The entire purpose of this inner work is to reclaim what was always yours. It is a journey home to yourself. The richest person in the room is often the one who wants nothing that is in it. So start small. Take a walk without your phone. Spend 10 minutes in silence. Write down 3 things you are grateful for that have no monetary value. Practice wanting less. Each small act is a stone laid in the foundation of your inner fortress. You don't need to change your life overnight. You just need to change your direction, 1 degree at a time. Remember the leaky jar. Stop focusing so much on pouring more in. Turn your attention to what is leaking out. What are the desires that cause you anxiety? What are the attachments that bring you fear? Patch one hole. Just one. Experience the small increase in your own inner contentment. This feeling will be the only motivation you need to continue the work. The world will continue to shout its message, more, more, more. It will tempt you with new fears and new desires. It will not understand your new path. But once you have tasted the freedom of wanting less, the noise of the world will begin to sound like the buzzing of a distant fly. You will have found a source of peace that the world cannot give, and therefore cannot take away. Your mind is the one piece of real estate you truly own. It is the only home you will ever have. Are you decorating it with peace, strength, and wisdom? Or are you cluttering it with anxiety, envy, and fear? The choice is yours every single day. Choose to cultivate your inner garden. This is the greatest investment you will ever make. It is the only one with a guaranteed return. Seneca reminds us, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. We waste it chasing things that do not matter. We waste it worrying about things we cannot control. We waste it living according to other people's rules. Reclaim your time. Reclaim your life. Invest it in the one project that truly matters, the forging of your own unbeatable soul. The final challenging thought is this: the things you own end up owning you. Your mortgage, your car payment, your subscriptions, your desire for the next upgrade. These are the invisible chains that dictate how you spend your one precious life. Are you the master or are you the servant? True wealth is not about what you can buy, it's about what you can live without. So look at your life, your desires, and your fears with new eyes. See the matrix of consumption and anxiety for what it is. And know that you have the power to unplug. The power to define wealth for yourself. The power to be free. The journey is not easy, but it is the only one that leads to a place of unshakable peace. It is the journey toward true wealth,